Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. In today's video, we are going to discuss UPSC syllabus orientation, book list, pattern, trend analysis, strategy for UPSC Mains 2026 of social justice component. In GS paper 2 segment students of UPSC Mains exam. So let's go into the general studies paper 2 segment syllabus of social justice. Government policies and interventions for the development in various sectors and issues arising out of their design and implementation. So basically, students, we need to focus upon the various government related policies and schemes, whichever we are feeling like important, especially the socio-economic sector schemes. We need to focus and we need to make actually these schemes collected based upon the various vulnerable sections also, such as women and SCs, STs, and various other vulnerable sections like senior citizens. We should add to our note segment whenever we are reading from current affairs also. And most of the time, students, this social justice component is going to be contemporary, like in current affairs oriented in the UPSC mains examination. That is, the UPSC examiners will relate this part of the syllabus of social justice with the newspaper related whatever updates whichever is happening. For example, if you are appearing for UPSC mains 2026, I'd be saying the current affairs which is happening from 2025 to 26 is going to play a huge main role in the like examination question pattern. In such a way, they will ask current affairs oriented questions only most of the times in this segment of the syllabus. So we need to follow either a monthly magazine like Vision, or we need to focus the daily newspapers like Hindu for our ready-made reference for the social sector scheme students. Let's now focus upon the next segment of the syllabus, development process and the development industry. That is the role of NGOs, non-governmental organizations, SSGs, self-help groups, and various groups and associations, donors, charities, institutional and other stakeholders. So we need to be very, very clear with the usage of all the keywords, whatever has been mentioned in the syllabus in this particular segment of the UPSC mains examination students, because what is happening is that the UPSC mains examiners, they are actually picking the questions based upon the syllabus only, and sometimes they have asked questions on this charities and donors based segment of the syllabus, which many of the students are not actually preparing in a proper manner. So you need to give maximum attention to the philanthropic related activities also, which are done by like various startup group kind of like donor activities, and even various trust also, which are playing a huge role, and whichever is coming in newspaper, you need to collect points accordingly for this segment of the syllabus, because questions has been asked in the past and by the UPSC examiners. Other than that, the other aspects like NGOs, SHGs, we need to have ready-made notes for that segment students. Welfare schemes of vulnerable sections of the population by the center and states and the performance of these schemes. So basically, we need to focus upon the vulnerable sections, as I said already, while preparing the government policies also and welfare schemes also. We need to give maximum focus, like focus to the socio-economic schemes, and most of these schemes will be available in the budget of the current year. For example, if you are preparing for UPSC mains 2026, the budget of like 2026, that is going to come in the January month end, students, that you need to read for the schemes which are relevant for the vulnerable sections, because only contemporary or current schemes only the UPSC examiners will be focusing in this particular aspect of the syllabus. There is the mechanisms, laws, institutions and bodies constituted for the protection and betterment for these vulnerable sections. Basically, these some of these we would have studied in the GS. There is polity Lakshmikant while studying that students, like the various commissions, whatever you have studied, like constitutional and other non-constitutional bodies, like protection of child-related activities, and like some of the commissions, National Commission for Women, whatever we have read related to the polity segment of the syllabus, you can relate it here. But we need to collect other current affairs related segment updates and value additions also in this aspect of the syllabus. Next component, issues relating to the development and management of social sector or services related to health, education and human resources. So this is going to be very, very important, because what is happening in the UPSC mains examination is that students, they have categorized this into like 3 or 4 segment in the UPSC mains exam like question paper. Like for this component of social justice students, you have to be very, very clear that UPSC means examiner will be picking one question every year, most of the times from this social sector related education, health, and human resources topic. And they will be asking one more question like on poverty and hunger, and one more question will be asked from these two segment of the syllabus, that is government policies and welfare schemes. So we need to be ready in such an aspect. And while reading this social sector related activities, I will be advising you to update your notes with the economic survey as well as the budget, and even various monthly current affairs related like Vision magazine schemes will be given in a separate column. You can update with that also, whatever is covered under health, education, and human resource topic. Then issues related to poverty and hunger we would have studied in economics topics also, but here what is very important is we need to focus upon the methodology, and like what are the various like government related constitutional provisions, like what are the laws or mechanisms or schemes available or provisions available in constitution also we need to quote, and we need to talk about the various sustainable development goals also while writing the answers. So we need to do value addition maximum in this particular aspect of the syllabus, students. And in the introduction or conclusion, we need to necessarily talk about any articles. We need to correlate with the various fundamental rights or BPSP related topics to justify our answer in polity segment, because this is a GS paper 2 segment of our syllabus. So answer should not be purely written in economic perspective. You need to prepare yourself in the various laws, government related provisions or constitutional provisions, then the various government related other like welfare related activities, social dimensions which has been done. So in accordingly you need to prepare this topic, students. So accordingly, if you look at it, this overall social justice syllabus you can segment into three major domains. So the first, government policies and welfare schemes as one particular topic, and social sector schemes like education, health, and human resources one topic, and poverty and hunger one topic. So you need to prepare accordingly and prioritize your preparation. Let's now focus upon the resources which we need to refer for social justice. You might have heard about the India Yearbook or the Bharat 2025. Now, India Yearbook 2026 is going to come in the month of January. You can buy that also from Amazon or Flipkart, students, and try to focus upon some of the chapters which have been mentioned in this particular aspect of India Yearbook or Bharat 2025 or 2026, whichever you are going to read. The most of the points is going to be same. Only some facts related current affairs will be updated in each year. Let's now focus upon the chapter, students. We need to refer chapter number 6, that is law and justice, and then we need to refer on building human resources, this particular domain, health and family welfare, education, welfare. So overall, these four topics we need to read from in their book. So try to read from the latest edition whenever you are preparing for that particular examination year. Other particular resources which I would be suggesting you to refer as a one end-to-end material means one EAS Prahar mains material recent edition, that is 2025 edition on social justice. I have forwarded this material in our Telegram group also. Make use of that, students, and you can prepare this particular aspect of syllabus. Let's now focus upon the UPSC 2025 recent UPSC mains PYQs on social justice. Number 1, women's social capital and complements in advancing social empowerment and gender equity. So explain they are asking, students, and this particular aspect is asked from the social capital segment, whichever we have said about education, health, and other human resources. That this particular question is picked directly. And one more question is asked on poverty, students, which I said already. Poverty is one separate segment. Social sector scheme is like initiatives like education health is one segment, and one more is on government welfares and like other welfare schemes. So here they have asked about the bodies related or regulatory bodies related questions regarding that is National Commission for Protection of Child Rights as to address the challenge. So basically they have focused on the three major aspect of the syllabus through pre-questions out of the 20 questions in social justice component. Okay, in the first question, whenever they are asking us to write about explain, we need to talk about what, when, why, where, how. So through this process, we can try to explain it, but our answer should maximum focus upon the various constitutional or other legislative related provisions first in our major segment. Then we can talk about other validation segment like committee's recommendations or current affairs related aspect and government schemes related aspect in the other components of the question. But we should try to convey the maximum part of our answer through with the help of data or committee's recommendations, students. Let's now focus upon the second question. Inequality in the ownership pattern of resources is one of the major causes of poverty. discuss in the context of paradox of poverty. So basically the question is revolving around poverty, and this is mainly a part of your syllabus direct question, students. Only thing what you need to focus is whenever we are writing discuss related kind of question, we need to focus upon way forward before writing the conclusion. So there should be a solution given in discussion related questions directly to the examiner. Third most important question, the National Commission for Protection of Child Rights has to address the challenges faced by the children in the digital era, examine the existing policies and suggest measures the commission can initiate to tackle the issue. So this is also directly related to the syllabus on vulnerable sections. Whenever we are reading vulnerable sections, we would have prepared our syllabus component into women, child, senior citizens, SCs, ST groups, and other vulnerable related like physically and vulnerably disabled groups also in our syllabus component, various constitutional provisions, legal provisions, and government schemes incorporated for them. So we can easily answer through that also, students, but we need to talk about the polity related legal provisions also in the answer analysis, and we need to do the analysis in positive and negative dimension also in the answer. Let's now focus upon the social justice pattern. Like in 2025, there were 3 questions which were asked for 40 marks as we saw. There were actually 2 15-marker question and 1 10-marker question. So overall 40 marks it was asked, 3 questions. But overall if you analyze like from 2013, they started with 2 questions, and there were some years they even asked 1 question also. But in the recent trend analysis, if you observe, students, you can easily observe the average 4 to 3 questions. That is 3 to 4 questions you can expect, and the mark you can expect is 40 to 50 marks for the coming year also. That is means 2026 examination. So you need to prioritize the syllabus accordingly. Poverty as one component, social sector initiatives as one component, government policies and vulnerable sections as another component. So there were 3 segments. Accordingly, 3 or 4 questions can be asked from each part of the syllabus. So what is the trend analysis from 2013 to 2025? Human capital, as I said, that is one topic. Poverty is another topic. And the third topic is on vulnerable sections. So accordingly, we need to segmentize our syllabus, students. And what is the trend within that? What are the subtopics we need to give priority? That is, human capital is education, health, and skills we need to read. When we are focusing upon health, students, while preparing notes, like we need to like focus upon the various sustainable developmental goals, or earlier it was called as millennium developmental goals. Like they asked questions on geriatric or maternal health, and then the questions were on marketization of healthcare. Now the focus is mostly on affordability and grassroots reach of health. So accordingly you try to prioritize your notes and preparation also. In the component on education sector, there is a shift from simple right to education in 2022 to digital era in 2025, and linkages between education, skill, and employment questions were asked in 2023. So the education we are trying to link with various other related skills also. So accordingly, we need to prepare our notes on education also, and we need to like try to update with the education with technology. With that aspect, we need to focus and prepare our notes. In skills topic, increasing emphasis on human resource development and vocational training related questions, students. Accordingly, we need to read the schemes also regarding that. In poverty, hunger, and malnutrition, the questions have moved from how to measure poverty to why poverty persists. So basically, you need to study the why component, that is the reasons. So, there were questions in 2025 on paradox on poverty, and they have also asked about the vicious cycle between poverty, malnutrition, and gender inequality. All these are part of our syllabus issues related to poverty and hunger. So you need to prepare various diagrams also in a cyclical manner, quoting the vicious cycle between correlation between one and another. Accordingly, we need to present our answer also. And there is a shifting matrix, that is, they are moving from income-based poverty to multidimensional poverty index. We need to know the various data, especially the recent data regarding that. Then vulnerable sections such as women and children, the focus is shifting from mere schemes to social capital, political participation, microfinance or self-help groups role in that. So accordingly, we need to prepare women's topic. In children, there is a focus on digital rights and protection in 2025 and the role of statutory bodies like NCPCR, that is a national child related regulatory body related for that. So accordingly, we need to prepare our notes on that, students. And then coming to the civil society, that is NGOs and SHGs related topic. They are asking as alternative models of service delivery. So we need to know some of them famous NGOs and self-help groups names so that we can quote as examples in our answers. And we should also try to prepare the notes in a schematic or like pictorial representation manner whenever we are preparing topics on these NGOs and SHGs. And charitable trust, new entries, there is a trend towards philanthropy and development. So try to read on some case studies or examples further to quote in your answer writing, students. And civil servants, questions now link public perception and integrity to social justice outcomes. So, what is the strategy for UPSC Mains 2026? First thing, phase vulnerable sections. Try to create various notes for women, children, SCs, STs, elderlies, then physically disabled and transgenders. So, try to have notes ready made for you so that you can present your answer easily in the examination. Thinkers and models, try to familiarize yourself with Amartya Sen's capabilities approach and Jean Rhys social security model and the welfare state concept so that you can quote in your answer writing to fetch extra marks. With respect to value addition, this particular syllabus component is going to play a huge role for students who are doing value addition so that they can fetch extra marks in the mains examination. First, they need to work on data and reports, then case study, then committees. When it comes to data and reports, try to collect data such as National Family Health Survey to quote in your answer on education and health. NITI Aayog's SDG India Index, that is Sustainable Development Goal Index, and then Global Hunger Index ranks related things. Then coming to case studies, you can collect best practices such as Odisha model for disaster management or the Kudumbashree model for self-help groups. You can quote these examples in your answer writing. With respect to committees, you can quote Justice Verma Committee for Women, Kasturi Rangan for education, and then Abhijit San for food policy in your answers. So try to prepare your notes accordingly. Value addition is very, very important. And coming to answer writing tactics, here the linkage is going to play a huge important role in answer writing. Any social issue, try to connect it through social, economic, and political lens because this particular syllabus is part of GS paper 2. But whatever topics they have mentioned is part of social and economic. So you should have social dimension, economic dimension, political dimension in your answer writing. With respect to political dimension, you can talk about constitutional provisions like DPSPs, then fundamental rights, quoting Article 21, 21A in your answers, and try to give maximum solutions through committee's recommendations or current affairs. If you mention marketization of health, try to suggest solutions such as universal health coverage. And with respect to focus on emerging areas, I would be suggesting try to prepare on topics digital justice, climate justice, and urban poverty related topics, students. And you know very well what is the importance of social justice in our syllabus. The first major priority in GS paper 2 should be given to Indian polity and constitution, then move on to governance syllabus. Then you can come to IR, and finally you can end the GS paper 2 syllabus preparation with social justice because here only 40 marks out of 250 is asked. And this is only playing a very minimal role, our last role in the GS paper 2 segment preparation. But value addition is going to be very, very crucial. So after reading the resources, whatever I have mentioned, try to update yourself with the Vision magazine, monthly current affairs, and UPSC toppers notes, whatever I have forwarded in the Telegram group on social justice, and UPSC toppers answer copy. Here in our YouTube channel, we have uploaded evaluation series on UPSC toppers on social justice. Try to look at that for the answer writing format and try to update your data with current affairs to fetch maximum marks in the social justice component. And if you have any further doubts on this particular aspect of the syllabus, you can comment in the comment section. Thank you, students.